This quote my grandfather used to tell me growing up, I ain't really get till I was older. If you ain't hear it from the horse's mouth, don't consider what you heard the truth. Fam, let's be real. There's nothing that I could tell you today that would make sense for a man to take the life of his cousin, take the life of his kid's mother, and not to mention, take the life of his own mom in the process.
What? What? Oh, let's round that back. You hear what the hell he just said? He just said, take the life of his cousin, kid's mother, and your own mother. Boy, you got to have some balls. You ain't got nothing good coming your way on some real stuff. You ain't got nothing good coming your way.
That's what we got here today. And on top of that, this man decided to document everything in real time on Facebook, which we'll later discuss. Now, this incident is very fresh. It happened within the last 24 hours of me making this video.
Whoa!
On social media, this was the main topic. Now, I wanted to waste some time before I bring it to you guys' attention.
Damn!
And the reason for that is because typical social media, there's been a lot of speculation on why these things happen. But when you're talking about something in this magnitude, as I said in the beginning, we need to hear from the horse's mouth. Now, we'll later go over some things that were said on these public platforms. But if you guys looking in this video on why this happened, fam, I'm sorry, I don't have the answer. I'd rather give you an update. So in this video, I'd rather let you know we're going to shine light on this case. Give love and respects to the ones that lost their life and show respects to their family. But most of all, we talk about what is presented to the public. And hopefully by the end of this video, you guys can come up with your own conclusion. So before we go over this one, remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Family, Javontee Brice, a.k.a. Shootout Brice. You're 28 years old.
God-fearing people giving up on faith due to joys that take over their sanctuaries.
I know this not the motherfucker who did it. Sitting here, boys always the ones that be, hey bro, you know what? I'm sorry, but Christians, stuff like this would make people look bad, boy. That's what we making Christians be looking bad. Like, it's always the motherfuckers that pretend holy, godly. Man, that's a whole nother subject.
No remorse. The month of January brings floods. The month of February brings suffocation. The month of March brings sorrow. The month of April brings depression with no remedy. The month of May brings heartache and pain. The month of June and July and August brings storms of evil. The month of September and October brings fallen burdens. The month of November brings fire while during a snowstorm. The month of December brings the preparation of a new and better life.
Go ahead,
because in every month I've prayed, so no more rainy, sorrow, loss, unfamiliar days.
He might have had a depression problem. That's what it sounds like.
I thank you, Lord, for my exodus and a new chapter.
And on Monday night, June 24th, 2024, and while living his home on the 2900 block of Sunset View Circle in the state of Georgia, he went to his Facebook and said the following: "The only relationship I know I'll never lose is with the Lord." 5 hours later, he wrote another post to his timeline: "Love." But then suddenly, things take a turn for the worse. In the middle of that 5 hours, a lot has went on. And for him to say love, you knew he wasn't in this right state of mind. Now, before we disclose what happened in that 5 hour time frame, as I looked on his Facebook, he tagged one woman all the time. A woman who had over 200 pictures, but suddenly delete all but 2. A woman who now has no interaction whatsoever on her Facebook account. She was identified as Kayla D. Black, and by the looks of his social media, I'm assuming that's his wife, which later played key to the video. Now, it's saying Brice wasn't living with his wife or having a relationship with his kids at the moment, and the reason being, according to people close to him and his family on social media, he had a mental illness.
Don't that nigga almost look like Will Smith? I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm sorry. It's a little off. But yo, that nigga looked like Will Smith for a minute.
Or having a relationship with his kids at the moment. And the reason being, according to people close to him and his family on social media, he had a mental illness. And his wife sent him back home to his mom to get some help. And with that...
What I told you. I said that man had a mental illness. Like, it ain't no way in the world you could you can do some stuff like that and not have a mental problem in your head. Like, then you sitting here talking about you praying to God and all this other stuff. Like, nigga, what?
Mom didn't feel it was safe enough for her to stay in the same house as her son Brice. So she decided to get a Motel 6 and stay there with her husband. But see, here's where things get interesting, fam. Because something had went on that we not aware of. It seemed instantly after that first Facebook post, he tried to go to his ex-girlfriend's house. But as we just mentioned, he has a wife. I'm not sure if the two play a part. But at 9 p.m., Brice traveled to Palmetto Trace Apartments, where his sister and ex-girlfriend, as well as the mother of his children, were. But Brice have a sister. They both went to Savannah State University, where Brice ran on the track team. Her name is Serenity, and once Brice got to the apartment, he threatened to kill his ex-girlfriend. But his sister was able to talk Brice out of killing the ex-girlfriend. So eventually he left. And then he went to Facebook, and as we mentioned, he posted on his feed, love. So 17 minutes later, at 9:17, Brice went to a Motel 6 located at 660 67th Street Circle East in Branton, where his mother's boyfriend, and two young sisters were staying. He allegedly walked in a room and told his mother, who's 48 years old, "I'm sorry." To which she responded, "What did you do?" And then he shot and killed her. Tatanisha Pat Ward, may she rest in peace.
Man, this is some sad shit.
Immediately after, before Brice went to his car and get to his next location, he went to Facebook and posted this. Scooter Brice had wrote, "I love you, babe," tagging his cousin Koya Brice. "See you in hell." Now I want us to be clear. Yes, he called her babe, and that is his blood cousin. Shortly after that post on his Facebook account, at around 9:40, Brice went to the 900 block of 26th Street in Court East in Palmetto, where one of his cousins, 29-year-old Koya Brice, she was at a cookout. And once she seen her cousin, she tried to get in her car and leave. And suddenly, Scooter shoots his cousin. She loses her life.
Damn, so she already know that this nigga was on some crazy nut stuff. She already knew he was on some nut stuff. Yo, straight saying him, oh, gotta skate. Gotta skate. Hey, man, that is some sad stuff, yo. Like, what in your mind? Damn, bro, the mind can be a tricky thing.
An hour later at a local hospital. May she rest in peace. 11 condolences to her family.
Yeah, rest in peace to her, man.
Because this is where I slow down in my homework. Because at that point, I'm lost. A man who took the life of his mother less than an hour later, tweet will go to Facebook and tag his cousin, calling her babe before pulling up and taking her life. Now, a lot of people was blaming mental illness, but he had enough sense to go to these locations and try to take out these targets. So that can't be an excuse. But I saw something else that was mentioned on Facebook by a family member that may explain a whole lot, family. Someone blatantly asked why he do it. Was him and y'all cousin dating? A person responded with the same last name. He was fighting mental health problems. And yes, he dated his blood cousin. So now things starting to make sense. At least for...
Yo, called her, that's why he called her bae. That's why he called her bae. He bae. Man, I can't wrap my head around this shit.
We dealing with some sick stuff and a man who possibly just got exposed. Now, while that second incident had went down, Brice's post is making his rounds on social media. He decided to respond to some of the comments about his cousin. Somebody wrote, "Nigga, take this shit down. What's wrong with you?" He responded, "Nigga, she gone." But that wasn't the last Facebook post he made. He made another post to a story. He wrote, "Pig, I love you, but you had to go." And minutes later, 10:04 p.m., Brice traveled to the 4800 block at 51st Street East, where one of his ex-girlfriends lived with her new partner. There, he shot and killed the new partner, and she was identified as 31 years old, Chanel Carter.
What?
East. Minutes later, 10:04 p.m. to a story. He wrote, "Pig, I love you, but you had to go." And minutes later, 10:04 p.m., Brice traveled to the 4800 block at 51st Street East, where one of his ex-girlfriends lived with her new partner. There, he shot and killed the new partner, and she was identified as 31 years old, Chanel Carter. May she rest in peace, and love and condolences to her family. And then Brice went back on Facebook. Remember the first girl we talked about, Kayla? He tagged her in a new Facebook post and said the following: "Baby, I love you too," and tagged Kayla. Then he went on and wrote, "Since I can't catch you, I'm gonna catch your brother. You got me effed up." So as Brice was headed to Georgia to Kayla's house, he was on his third body in less than 2 hours.
Bro, this nigga is letting you know. He is fucking letting you know what the hell he's about to do.
Trying to make it 4. Local police had made a statewide bolo for Brice's vehicle. and multiple law enforcement agencies assisted in tracking Brice to Hamilton County near the state line. At around 1:30 a.m., at this point the next day, 6/25/2024, Brice was shot and lost his life after he fired shots at Hamilton County Sheriff's deputies. They returned fire.
Good morning, everyone. Before I get started, just wanted to say that our thoughts and our prayers go out to the families of the victims of this tragic event.
Man, you can't even wrap
we pray
around,
that God watches over them during this very, very tragic time. Just want to try to give you a timeline of the events that took place last night. And before I get started, really want to show you the killer himself, the one that is responsible for 3 homicides in Manatee County last night. His name is Javontee Brice. He is 28 years of age. He is the one that went on a killing spree last night in Manatee County. So we believe initially that this all started sometime before 9 o'clock when Mr. Brice traveled to the Palmetto Trace apartments in Palmetto, in the city of Palmetto. Inside one of those apartments was his sister and a mother of one of the many children that Mr. Brice has. When he walked into the apartment, he looked at the ex-girlfriend and said, "I have to kill you." Somehow, the sister was able to talk him down and talk him out of him shooting this ex-girlfriend. She later told investigators that he was acting very strange, not really sure what was going on with him. At 9:17 p.m., we know that he traveled to the Motel 6 in East Bradenton. Inside one of those rooms was his mother, his mother's boyfriend, and 2 young juvenile sisters. He walked into that hotel room, looked at the mother and said, "I'm sorry." She asked, "What did you do?" And he shoots her 3 times in front of the boyfriend and these 2 innocent young juveniles.
Screw of screwball, summoned for making peanut butter.
He then travels into Palmetto to the 900 block of 26th Street East. One of his cousins was at a cookout at this residence. She's starting to get into her vehicle to leave. He then shoots her at that location.
Damn.
She later dies about an hour after this shooting at a local hospital.
Wow.
We then have him traveling into the city of Bradenton over the Green Bridge. And at roughly 10:04 p.m., he travels to a location in the city of Bradenton, the 4800 block of 51st Street East. This is a residence where another ex-girlfriend lives and her now new partner. He does not shoot or kill the girlfriend, but he shoots and kills the new partner. So at this point, we now have 3 homicide scenes and also an ag assault scene at Palmetto Trace. Investigators are constantly getting information. We know right away that the suspect is Javontee Brice. The family has been very cooperative. They tell us exactly what's going on. We find out that he possibly has another ex-girlfriend in the state of Georgia and that he's now traveling to that state to kill her. We put out a statewide BOLO. Luckily, sheriff deputies with the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office spots the vehicle that Mr. Brice is driving. They stop him. He immediately gets out of the car and starts firing upon them. They return fire, shooting and killing him there in Hamilton County.
Right.
And that's where everything ends. I can't really go into all the details. I have talked to...
And to say that this man has a mental issue is kind of wild, because for you to know to do all these things, yes, it's sick in the mind, but you're at the end of the day, I'm not gonna call you fucking crazy, because you knew exactly what you was doing. You knew exactly what was going on and how to play it to get to happen to what you wanted done. And then you saying, I'm on my way to your brother then. So that in his mind, I'm getting rid of all my, I guess, I don't know what he had going on, because he got rid of the ex-partner, but not the ex. He wanted the other ex, but then he was about to go get her brother.
Sheriff Reed out of Hamilton County to make sure those deputies are okay. They're fine.
I ain't calling them
The
crazy.
Florida Department of Law Enforcement will be investigating
Man know what he wanted.
that deputy-involved shooting there in Hamilton County. But that's what we know right now. We don't know a motive, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know what set this man off. We don't know why he chose to kill.
I bet he was drunk.
His loved ones. And we may never know, but we're going to continue to investigate. It's a very fluid and active investigation, and we're trying to get all the answers to the questions that we all have. So that's where we're at right now, and I'll take any questions that you may have.
Sheriff, we spoke with some witnesses at the motel. They said that they estimated 20, 30 minutes for officials and police and the EMTs to get there. Do you have an estimate of how long it actually took and why that was, if it did take so long?
No, I don't believe that's correct. We'll give you the arrival time of all the personnel involved. The deputies were, dispatched, and I don't know exactly when we got the call, about 9:17, but we'll get those times to you.
Sheriff, when you talk about his past state, just going through some court records, it looks like he had some run-ins with some mental health and even some injunctions just out of concern.
Yeah, I know that, just based upon what we can read into now, he had some BOP warrants.
This man got
He had,
concerts playing behind the background.
He had some a domestic violence case with strangulation. As far as his mental state of being, I'm not really sure what kind of issues he may have dealt with in the past. We'll still be investigating all of that.
That nigga was sane. He was insane. That nigga knew exactly what he was doing. Probably a little drunk.
In the last few days.
Yeah, we haven't really had time to find all that information out. I understand that really the people that are close to him that can give us that information are devastated right now. They're dealing with
Of course, man.
A mother of several children that is now deceased, a cousin. So they're going through a lot right now, and hopefully we're able to kind of
he messed up a lot of people.
interview them and get some more information on what he may have been going through the last few days prior to this tragic event.
Honestly,
sister was able to talk about.
Honestly, what he was going through. Honestly, to do something like this, man. Come on, man.
Shooting the mother of his child at the first location. Can you give us any more detail about how that went down?
He just went in there to kill her. For what reason, we don't know. He asked if he could take a shower. She declined. She said no. But I don't know how she was able to talk him down. She seems to be the only one, at this point that was able to do that.
And what kind of weapon did he have, and do we know where he got it?
Yeah, it was a handgun. We don't know where he got it. It was a revolver, I think a 38 or something close to that. So, and that's we're assuming that's what he used to fire on the Hamilton County deputies as well.
And did they? Did he fire back, and none of them got struck?
No, they're fine. He initiated the fire. He came out of the car shooting at those deputies. And Tim, I can't get into everything because it's still being investigated by FDLE, so you know how that goes. But they they returned fire, from my understanding, after he fired on them.
I talked
Right.
to several people who made 911 calls. Are you going to be releasing those calls?
Yeah, we'll be releasing everything as soon as we can.
Can you talk about, too, just looking at his Facebook page, it seemed like on his Facebook page he was kind of detailing what he was going to do. There were so many people who were trying to reach out to him. How important will that be in the investigation?
It'd be very important to maybe get some more information on what he was thinking at the time, why he was acting in this manner, and really what he seemed to have an agenda. He knew exactly who he wanted to kill.
Correct.
And he did not have a hard time locating them.
No, he did not.
We saw a roadway that the Hamilton County
He
deputy.
knew exactly where all his exes were.
I'm not really sure. Not really sure.
Do we have an idea of the time difference between each shooting and how deputies could have responded, between each one?
Well, I can tell you that the first call in relation to the homicide at the Motel 6
I don't know
came
he
in at
connected
9:17,
this shit.
Right, so that's East Manatee County. That's by the interstate. We then got a call of the shooting in the city of Palmetto at 9:40 p.m. And then we got a call of the shooting in the city of Bradenton at 10:04 p.m.
I spoke to several people at the motel who were saying that they believe that the situation was regarding a custody battle. Do we know if he had custody of his kids or, any situation like that?
Yeah, I don't know how anyone, quite honestly, at that hotel could have any accurate information. Inside that room is his mother, his two sisters, and the mother's boyfriend. So none of the children that belonged to him were in that room.
How many children does he have?
We believe 12.
Dang!
That's the number we have right now.
Was he by himself when he was going to
12 crazy motherfuckers in this world that he left before he went up out of here. Man, that's probably why that man was insane. Now that I hear that. Damn. 12 kids? Boy, I mean, I wouldn't be killing my mother or none of that. But, bro, that nigga was going crazy.
He did have a female with her. She's being interviewed at this time, and she'll be interviewed by our investigators as well. We don't know her relation to him at this point, but she was in the car with them when the shootout took place in Hamilton County.
Right.
How crucial was it to get to him before he made it to Georgia? I mean, not only to prevent any more killings, but how would that have complicated the process for you guys if he did make it across state lines?
Well, I mean, I think that the main focus for us is to save a life. If he would have ended up being arrested in Georgia, that's just, procedure. That would not have been an issue for us. Eventually, we would have gotten him back to Manatee County. The main thing is we were able to save that ex-girlfriend from being shot and killed. And I really want to praise those deputies from Hamilton County and Sheriff Reed for just really being on the lookout for this suspect and taking care of business.
Hell yeah.
In the midst of the three, though, when did you learn that it was the same person?
Man. Yo,
In the midst of the
y'all
three?
got him.
As we go to each individual scene, as people, investigators and officers get to the scene. So each scene, there were witnesses that gave us the name Javontee Brice.
Now, as we wrap this video up, we do want to say, once again, rest in peace to all the victims.
Yes,
Love and
indeed.
condolences to you guys' family.
Yes,
That we
indeed.
can blame mental illness, but I'm sure it's a lot of people that go through that and not going to this extreme.
Man, ain't
and
no
this man
mental.
knew his targets.
Yes.
He made it a priority to go after his ex-girlfriends and somebody he called Bae, who's technically his cousin. And I didn't even mention that someone also went to Facebook and said that the cousin has 3 kids. 2 tagged for 1 kid, for 1 man. So the other one may be incest. It wasn't facts, so I didn't put it out. But it's important that we look at the facts and not blame what we think someone is going through without even knowing those facts. Y'all let me know how you guys feel about this one.
Wow.
But if we being honest, it seems like this is a story of a man who flashed out after being exposed for possibly sleeping with his cousin. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. As more developed, I'll keep you guys updated. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Hey, peace. I think I said everything I had to say while that video was going on. But yo, that was sick.